definitely pretty loud.
The weekly way. Oh, I can't spend the nose. The weekly way. Oh, can't tell it home. The weekly way. Did you see it? The weekly way. I'm glad you stopped by. Take him to him, baby. Take him up again. Oh, can you tell me who? The weekly way. Oh, yeah. The weekly way. Did you know? The weekly way.
Oh, no, that was perfect timing. Sam Reuscher, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just happy to be here. Happy to be hanging out with my old friend Matt.
Man, that was quite the delivery. That's got me tense. Are you the mailman in disguise again? My mailman's been playing with me, okay? He's coming up. He's dressed as UPS, FedEx, but he's actually U.S. Postal.
Did you know that you can franchise a UPS?
There is no way that that's true. Don't casually nod that. Tell me, have you considered? Where'd you find this?
I haven't considered it, but, you know, working in retail, a lot of people come in and tell you about what they do, and they asked me if you can franchise the paint store, and I said no. But you can franchise a UPS, apparently.
So this guy's just a franchise fiend. He's just coming in bragging to you. He's like, I bet I could even franchise this place. Yeah.
He said in 5 years he'd sell it to me, but
No.
he did say that.
The USPS?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Dude, that's outstanding. What a hilarious Ponzi scheme probably being ran. It's a good service, but I can't imagine you're making a lot of money. What a weird biz to be in, too.
It was a weird trade-off, too, because I didn't have what he needed.
So it's like, now what do we have in common? Like, you want to go back to the franchise thing? Yeah, let's talk about that. Go straight back to Shark Tank. It's like...
Well, it sounds like he's just trying to get rid of it, really. He's
Damn.
like, in 5 years, like, I have no other choice but to throw it off on somebody, and this poor guy seems like the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, think of all the businesses that were exposed that thought they, all the businesses that thought they had it made that just got wiped out of nowhere, like printing companies and things like that. Like, there's a printing company down the street from here that I don't know how they stay open. I think one time one of my loved ones tried to run for a political office, and this guy ran a scandal campaign that he printed out of his office. He ran like it was a bunch of advertisements on mailboxes. It was hilarious. So wrong.
I was in Newport the other night picking up some Indian food.
Where from?
It'd narrow it down too much.
Okay, cool. Cannot disclose.
And, like, across the street, there's a travel agency, I guess, because it says that on the banner or whatever, the front door, and it's like a corner building, right? And I'm just looking at it, and it's like, 9 p.m. Like, I'm there because it's late,
Yeah.
And
Shibuya.
And I'm like looking across the street, and there are like all these people in there. And the lights are dim, but they're all just like circled around. And I'm like, what are they doing?
Tell me what this, it's a travel agency?
That's what it said.
Ooh. Sounds like a quick way to make a cult, which I think there's a lot quicker ways. Like, you could have a USPS, you could have a small, like you can do all these things. But travel agent's a weird call.
Yeah.
It's like you buy a one-way ticket to the Bahamas, and you show up to get in the van to go to the airport, and you find out there's no ticket, and this guy doesn't even believe in the Bahamas. Like, it's just like you're just hanging out there, and you have a good time, and you're like, damn, I come back, and now I'm in this guy's cult. It's like, I've been here for 9.5 years, and I gotta say, like, the whole staycation thing's really grown on me,
I could get used to this.
He just re-themes this 2020 store. It's just now we're in Cape Cod. What a beautiful spot. Who wants to circle up? And Dan's like, me again.
It's the portal. But
that's what VR is going to be, though.
Okay.
You go to this guy's place, and he's got the best headsets. And you go on vacation, but you actually never left the travel agency. You just get in a really comfy little hammock.
Yeah.
and trip in a headset for a week, and then you come back feeling rested.
I'd be
Maybe your
okay
back
with
hurts a
that.
little. No.
I mean, that's kind of what I do already. You know, I just work a lot and gig a lot, and then I get home and I like sleep for 12 hours and dream.
Yeah. Which is arguably a better VR than we're going to make. It's like it's way more freestyle and
talking.
jazzy. Yeah,
Now we're
dude. Now we're dude, let's talk about the combination of dreams and jazz. Like, do you dream in in a musical form ever? Do you ever come out with the song very clearly?
No.
Really?
No, I've had a few dreams where I'm thinking about songs and I got all these musical ideas and they seem really awesome, and then I wake up and it's just gone. Which probably says more about my poor sleep habits than my musical ability.
Well, like it's a weird catch and release game with some songs. Other songs are crafted over a long period of time, but like some songs really do come in the night, and maybe you can catch just enough of them to try to retrace what that thing was. But like, it's really hard to click what you thought of and what you're playing at the end of the day. Like that's why people practice, is to try to mend those two things.
Yeah, well, we think everything we think is awesome in our mind. Yeah, like if you think like it's gonna be awesome, well, then you just gotta keep feeding into it until it is.
Well, I think there's an issue for me as a songwriter where like I'll think something's awesome, and then immediately after, because I wrote it, I'm gonna have to think like, what another bag of shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like your self-critic kicks in, and you need to achieve the balance of it's like, so there's the glory of I just got this song, and then there's the first time I played that song in front of somebody and I ate shit. You know?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
What's it been like to go from being in the rhythm section strictly to doing the frontman thing over these last 2 EPs now? 2 EPs and a couple singles?
It's well, you know, Matt, honestly, I can give you a lot of credit for helping me. Where's the camera?
Yeah, you can look straight into their eyes. Do you want me to feed you that?
Listen. If I can say one thing about Matt Waters, is that I've known him a long time, and he knew me when I was nothing. I mean nothing. And I'm still nothing. But
This is a John Mulaney bit. That was awesome. That hit home for everybody watching right now. It's like,
But okay, like real quick story time. I met Matt in a coffee shop because we had a mutual friend, Charlie Andrews. Shout out Charlie Andrews.
Badge's Drum
Shop. Also recently, Charlie Andrews, my friend Jose came in town from LA and he stopped there and he said it was lit.
gang. Good on
great.
Jose. Thank you for going.
Yeah, thank you, Jose. Who will never watch this? You might.
You
I
want to
don't know.
bet? I'll
send
make
it to
just a
him.
clip of this. You know
Yeah,
what I
I'll
mean?
send
Like,
it to him.
this is a weird in-personal shout out via the gram. My man Jose.
He went to Badge's Drum Shop once, and I was like, you know what? That's good for the scene. That's good for Cincinnati.
Tourism is health. You know what I mean?
But anyway, Charlie Andrews is studying music with me at the same time, and in school, and we had this gig at a coffee shop in like Ludlow, Kentucky. This place doesn't even exist anymore. The ex-mayor of Ludlow, Kentucky opened a coffee shop, Winners Cup Cafe. It was a beautiful place, and we would just go in there and do whatever. And
Jasmine.
yeah, Charlie was at the time playing with Matt, and I guess maybe he invited you. I don't know.
Yeah, I think me and his mom were going to check the set. You know, like, me and Beth are tight. I grew up with Charlie, man.
Yeah, Charlie's awesome. I miss that guy. We don't talk enough. But anyway, I just remember, Matt, you walked up and you're just like, yeah, dude, I like your style.
Still do.
I like your style, man. And then we just started playing together. But, you know, that was already, I think that was like close to 7 years ago.
Is it really? I mean,
think it
that's
was.
like your
More.
freshman or sophomore year of college, like at latest. So it's probably close to that range. You know, and like it in that 7 years, like sometimes it doesn't feel like we've done a lot until you put it in that tight of a frame, and it's like things are very different. You know, you and I, we've been sprouting so much follicle length that's like, consider the musical stuff just a plus. Like, if you made money at some point, like, cool, but like I had to eat a lot of mulch to get here. I don't know about you. I've been telling people that, and like no one bats an eye because everyone knows that mulch is good for follicle growth. If you can stomach enough of it. All right, I'm sorry. This is a bad disclosure.
I thought this was like
you shouldn't eat that.
I thought this was like I took so many rough gigs and like had it so rough, and no one cared about me, and now here
That shit's still going on. I'm talking about.
I ate so much mulch on the stage, bro. You know what? I can think of one specific time where you pretty much did eat mulch.
Okay, yeah,
And
was.
if you know what I'm talking about,
It was hilarious. It was the beautiful Pax residue with a Jaeger bomb, and like it was more potent than I would have expected. Like I've been told you can make that stuff into like a butter, but it was awesome.
why were we there that night?
We were tin roofing.
Yeah, but like there was something going on because like there was a stage outside too, and just so much going on. It wasn't the 4th of July, but it was something like that.
Man, that's something. Tourism is life. That block has done a lot for itself in the last decade of our gigging, and it has affected me in a very good way, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
As much as I get sour on the rooms sometimes and the people, like the fact they shut that street down after we've been playing on for so long, it's like parking got so much shittier, but the attendance got way better.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I need to check it out. I haven't been down there in.
I'll try to find us a weird tin roof slot.
Yeah,
we'll see if we can get down. Will, please?
I mean, I don't think I've played there since they extended the stage.
Thank God they did. Thank God. It's just high enough now that drunks can't step up. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude.
I'm not talking about in a dance way.
Josh Jessen, shout out to Josh Jessen.
The man.
Holding it down with us on Thursday nights till almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Every week.
I couldn't. Looking back on that, I can't believe how lucky we were for that time. And yeah. It makes me feel like a true degenerate when I'm like, I still feel like a degenerate sometimes. And like, I would have really appreciated that more now.
Which follows our previous topic, which is that is what brought me to feel comfortable getting in front of people, because Matt, I was like John Coltrane and Matt was like Miles Davis, just like taking me under his wing. Like, all right, Sam, you gotta stay away from doing too many drugs.
I don't think I ever told you that.
But that's what
Miles
I did.
told John that.
That's not what John did, unfortunately. But
dun, dun, dun.
John Coltrane, beautiful human being.
That there bird.
Inspiration. So I don't mean to make a joke of John, but it did feel kind of like that. You're just like showing me the ropes, and yeah, just got to try things in front of people. And then, all the time we spent on the road in the Carolinas.
Always the Carolinas.
Specifically the Carolinas. Like
beating down the doors of Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, just
merciless.
Yeah. And just learning, how to. I think about it all the time, man. I don't take it for granted because it doesn't matter how good you are or how cool of a set you have or how good your band is and how well known they are. At the end of the day, you go into any venue, chances are the world is big enough to where it's up to you to get them into it somehow, some way, somehow. And you have to read the room.
Yeah.
You have to read the room. And like, sometimes, you gotta not, you don't want to conform too much outside of yourself for that, but you want to find a way, you want to find your own way to get them into it and to understand that what you're doing is art and not just, background music.
Yeah. There's something about developing the character that you want to play confidently in that position. It's like, because I think that's that's been the healthiest way for me to try to think about it. And I have a really hard time disconnecting the person I try to portray on stage versus who I actually am. Because that's a little bit more silly and a little more vibrant and hopefully more dialed in at times. Like,
yeah, sure.
But being confident when you find that thing that you want to be, like, it's always going to change and you're allowed to change that. But it'll put you through the emotional ringer. And especially when you find that people don't react to it the way that you want them to, and then you need to go back to redeveloping that. And it's like, that doesn't matter if you're tired, good day, bad day, shit week, I've slept behind a tin roof before because my car broke down. It's like, that didn't affect my set. Why? Because I didn't know about it till after, okay?
Yeah, dude, exactly. Like, you got to make it work. And that's why it's cool that you have this podcast and you can share those stories and tell people, like, hey, you know, this lifestyle isn't always forgiving. And sometimes it's really rough. And when you tell people you're tired or you're overloaded or you're doing too much, they don't always get it, you know? They're like, well, you're out there playing shows and getting free drinks and talking to cool people and like doing something you love. And they people love to say, you're doing something you love, so you got to be grateful for it. And it's like, yeah, I am grateful for it, but it's, you know, it's a job, man. Like, you got to come in there and you got to do the part.
Yeah, and there's a weird smoke and mirrors there where, like, I want you to always think that I'm having the time of my life, because that's the only way that I think you're going to enjoy it. And most of the time, if I fake it till I make it, I start making it real quick, because I'll start having a good time. Like, that is something about this job that, like, I won't take for granted. Like, I know what M does, you know, I know a lot of my friends do that are in fields that suck, you know, just things that are like grueling work in the world. So my job, and I think, and you know, your job as well, and all of us musicians, is to provide an atmosphere that gives you either the escapism you wanted, or the creative exposure you wanted, or just the resonant joy. Just a little bit of, holy shit, I'm taking breaths in and out. Life is good right now, baby. And like, there's people that'll come to shows that you're playing because they love Sam Reuscher. You know, did I mispronounce your last name?
No,
there?
that's
Okay,
right.
cool,
That's right.
cool.
A lot of people mispronounce it. It's all right. It's Reuscher. 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 I hear Reuscher. I hear Reuscher. I get it.
I had this thought before we started the podcast. How would you feel about a new stage name of Sam Wow?
It's not awful.
It may be coinable. It may have a tough reputation to start.
Do we take a break on the show?
Depends on what you
10?
need. If you need to take a 10, we can absolutely do that.
We don't need to yet. I'm just asking. I don't know how.
You can get up and walk away at any point during
it's
this.
kind of freestyle or.
Oh, dude, it's bizarre on here. I mean, like, they haven't found this show started off with me during the pandemic, straight mustache, 4 cameras by myself.
I remember.
Yeah, trying to be entertaining for some reason, and it was all garbage. And I'll go back and watch it, like, because I know that dude was hammered, having a blast. You know.
What else could we do?
Truly.
What else could we do?
During the pandemic, I wrote Jane and Jack, and you were one of the first people I played that for, and I played it for you over Skype, and you gave me the ultimate compliment, which was, did you know all the words to that off the bat? Because I'm horrible with lyrics, and the fact that you noticed I didn't need lyrics, I was like, cool. That was enough to get Sam on board. I'm going to take this one to the people, man.
Yeah. You know, you internalized the song.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God.
Do that, musicians. Do that. I need to do that too. Like,
dude, it's
internalize these songs.
It's a good thing to yell at yourself. The quicker you get to how you can store and recall these things in organized fashion, like, that's why theory matters. That's what I'm finding out. It's just like being able to simplify these things into categories of equations and movements, and being able to quantify it along the way is really important if you want to do a lot of it. If you're just doing a little bit of music, you can memorize that and have no idea what you're playing, and that's great. But going that extra mile to clean your clutter when it comes to all this music also helps you do the thing like wake up in the middle of the night and grab that song because it's been keeping you in the loop. Like, sometimes I'll wake up and the song has 3 lyrics, and it's just spinning in my head, and it's like, I got to get out of bed. Like, this is going to either drive me nuts, or it's going to go somewhere, or I'll just sit in voice memos, which is fine.
Oh, voice memos.
Yeah. What's been your favorite find of your voice memos? You ever go back through there and find a song and start to rework?
Oh, dude. Yeah. There's so much random stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's how I write songs now too. I've been taking my time with my music these days because I'm just in no hurry to release everything and anything. And if that's to my detriment, that's fine.
I wouldn't say it is, because what the value in it, it's free. You know, the music's free regardless when it comes out. And our seriousness about it, like, no, we can upload it, it goes somewhere. There's no one in the middle of us and them at that point. It's just what you want to do with it.
Yeah. I just, now my process has been really simple. And I'm proud of the stuff that I'm making. I don't know if they are demos or if, they're good enough to be released tracks. And at this point, I've been sitting on them for so long, I'm starting to think maybe I should just release it, get it mastered or remixed and just release it.
Did you do a similar style of all the production via keyboard except the bass lines? Because I loved, I think it's during your first EP that you had sent me some demos before the final products.
Yeah.
And it had like just the Logic drums and things like that. And it was fucking slamming, brother.
Yeah, okay.
And I loved hearing the analog tones come out for the end product. But it was so interesting when you hear someone that you know well enough that like you want to see what those innermost workings look like. When you have more context, seeing the unencumbered result, no one else's ideas, just this one dude's manic idea. It's like, that's awesome.
Yeah. So one thing I used to do, that I'm trying to avoid now, the whole first EP was written this way. Some of the first album, my second project, was written this way as well, but not nearly as much as the first EP, which I'm really proud of the first EP. I think when I think about it, like that's something that ended up, I don't know, it just felt really natural.
Yeah, what's the title of the EP, just so people can look it up?
Oh, the EP was Sketches of the Common Man.
Beautiful.
I don't know.
Awesome artwork as well.
Just like, I don't know, I'm just a regular guy, and then I just sketched myself, like I drew the
couch,
and then my buddy Alex Slade, shout out Alex Slade, made the photo, photoshopped it into the artwork. On my second project, Alex Jones, also Alex, shout out Alex Jones, he took the picture of me there. But anyway, on the first project, what I would do is I would go into Note Flight, which is a program kind of like Finale,
cool,
or Sibelius. And I kid you not, I swear to God, I would
GWG.
Yes. And God knows, man, I would go in and literally like automate everything. Like I would just, or not automate, but like score out everything. So even the drum parts were all written out.
Why? It seems so tedious.
At the time, I didn't know enough about. I didn't have like a drum pad or anything when I was making this music. Mm-hmm. I didn't really have anything. I had a laptop. I didn't have a keyboard at the time.
No shit.
I just had a laptop, and so I would like literally write out all the chord structures and like change chords here, and then like even change the rhythms so that they would sound a little more natural. And then I imported the full MIDI file,
like the full score.
I'm sorry, exported the full MIDI file into Logic, and then would start to work on the sounds. And I actually really liked doing it this way on some of the songs at the time. Like, it was really fun.
Yeah, that's bizarre and really brilliant. I'd imagine your movements and your shapes, because they appeal to your eye on the sheet, have such a different shape and color and whatnot. Like who's the famous composer that's deaf?
Which one? Beethoven?
Yeah. When I think about like what that guy must have been doing, it's like, okay, you're just sitting there doing the math on this paper, just having the time of your life, finding these different ways of looking at it, because you have this relational background that's very quantifiable and very clear to you like that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too, is that I don't want to make it sound like I was just like I had it all up here cooking.
Well, no,
I was up here. I was like
wearing the
wig, music, staff notation, tenor clef, like
fucking Rain Man,
major 7, 13 chord, and like crazy, like
dude, we gotta go back.
But
Rip it, Sam.
So
That was a lot of fun.
It
brother.
wasn't like that, but then like I would put it in Logic and it would become so fun because before it would sound like almost like a ringtone. You know, it's like
Yeah, but when he first imported,
Yeah.
dude, that's what I was gonna ask. I was like, was the first listen like super sexy? It's like no, it's like clunky and
oh, dude, it was rough too because then I would finally get a song together, and I worked like, like probably 12 hours on it, picking out the sounds and like automating everything, and it would like, I was like, dude, I'm gonna be famous. This is good.
it's really good.
This is good. And then like I would send it to my homie, and he'd be like, dude, that sounds like Mario Kart. And like it would keep happening, and it'd be like different songs. It'd be like R&B, like like just not even in the idiom. And then people would be like, "Oh, dude, that's like." Or whatever. I'm like, no, like you're not even trying.
Well, is the association bad?
No, but it's like I get it, and you know what? Maybe it does, but
Is it tonally nostalgic and like do people like point straight at that? Like, yeah, that's kind of odd, but I don't think it means that they dislike it. And like, honestly, when you sent me those, like
Yeah.
I was floored with how bizarre it was, and to hear about the way that this kind of shaped makes me even more fond of what that sound is. Before a band even touches it, it's like
yeah.
it's this diary of a madman that goes through this weird tunnel and emerges as this thing.
Well, it's also kind of a hybrid product too, because at this point, the first project and the second project, most of the tracks came about that way. Where I'm literally like I didn't even have a keyboard yet. I'm literally notating everything, like chord by chord, this, that, copy, paste, do this, do that, change the second ending of this, do that, notating all the drums, notating all the bass lines, notating all the synth lines, doing all this, importing all of it, changing all of the sounds, like rough mixing it, and then taking it into the studio and deleting all the drum work I did. But it was worth it because then when I take it to, Isaiah Cook, shout out Isaiah Cook, Charlie Shaft, who else did I have? Also Derek, thank you, Derek.
Derek Johnson,
Yeah, Derek Johnson,
monster. Dude,
beautiful guy.
I walked
Thank you,
in.
Derek.
I walked in. That guy playing Sledgehammer one time by Peter Gabriel.
What?
And I was like, I'll love him forever.
Oh, like I thought you meant like playing a sledgehammer.
no,
Wouldn't
no.
put it past him.
Dude, honestly, that would be so rad. But that had to be an all aluminum snare, not like this soft shell bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like Chrome Mario. If we want to go back into that.
You can't. You hit him, but he doesn't move.
Dude,
he feels the pain, but
stubborn.
it doesn't affect him.
It's like regular Bowser, but then you get Chrome Bowser, and that shit's just.
Yeah.
It's like walking around in a pair of wet moccasins. You know what I mean? It's heavy. Not wet because of spills, sweat, always. I can never wear moccasins to... A kid will wear moccasins in Muller High School. I couldn't do that. It was just too wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you, man.
Bad days.
Dude, when I worked at the pallet yard too, and before I got some really good boots, I figured out like I used to be like, oh, I don't need to be a boots guy. Like I thought it was some kind of like political thing or something. Like I don't need to be a boots guy. I'm not that
Well, it
kind of
definitely
guy.
changed you. I mean...
And then eventually you're just like, man, I'm tired of my feet just being gross and stepping in puddles and just nope. I'm gonna get some nice boots.
Dude, this will crack you up. I was doing a corporate gig that was booked by Papa Phil, the man himself. So we're staying at a hotel together, and I kick off my cowboy boots. He goes, "Oh, dude, you gotta. Those are dank. You clean those." And I cracked up. I was like, "Sorry, Dad. Sorry, we gotta hang out." These are my working boots. These are my sweat pups.
Sorry, Dad. I'm your problem.
No. No,
I hate to be so problematic, Dad.
Yeah, that's my dude. He's got those fancy shirts. The fancy shirt's gonna come out again once he retires. Like.
Oh, dude.
Would you ever release the first EP as it was before the just as like an alternate version?
I would.
Cool.
I totally would.
If you ever could, I would appreciate that as a fan of it.
So yeah, I gotta give. There are a lot of people, like there really are a lot of people that worked on my project with me. You know,
Yeah.
that I asked to be a part of it. And I hope, you know, I might not be able to get to everybody, and it's nothing personal. I just, you know, a lot of people helped me along the path. But like Ryan Mondak, who's a great recording engineer and producer and, you know, friend, just a good guy.
Great guitar player.
Of course, yeah, great guitar player. Let's not forget, but very multifaceted dude.
Yeah.
But you know, like
Great head of hair.
yeah, we would hang out a lot, you know, playing on the road, doing the M-Line tours and stuff, and you know, he was so willing to help me record all that stuff. And so a lot of the sound comes from that too. Like I can't deny that the natural sound that you get from like the drums and the bass and all
Totally.
the vocal effects too and stuff, and just making it sound clean. You know, he was a huge part in that, and we were both just trying stuff out and just making a project, and he was, you know, very willing to work on it for a lot of hours, and I respect him a lot for that, and you know, opening up his space for us.
Yeah, dude, it's interesting to think there's mix engineer types that can spend 8 hours just sitting in front of a mix, just finagling their way into something. Like, I'm trying that for the first time in my life, just to do it on EP, because I want to save the money, because I want to try it myself, because I want to learn what that means to do. And it fucking sucks. It's been horrible. I listen to YouTube videos all day trying to learn how to do something right, and I try it and I do it wrong, and then I learn and maybe it sounds passable. And within that process, like, it makes me appreciate guys who are available in our scene, in our community, to come in and put their refined touch on something. The way that Isaiah does. Isaiah plays in all these projects and has beautiful hands that you and I could not learn in 3 months to get done for an EP. So you bring the guy in and he crushes on something and you get that. Same thing with my boy Nick Hack. You know what it is, baby. But then someone is like Ryan is. It's like not only the hours behind the tools, but the tools themselves are unavailable, and that's how you get scenes to have a sound. Is you have cats like that who lend their ability and their thoughts and their thumbprint to things.
Yeah, man. I mean, that whole crew. I mean, I spent so much time with them. You know, between doing your stuff and when I was playing with Emmeline and Ryan and Isaiah, you know, we would, and Dev Marvelous. Let's not forget Devin.
Dude, me and Dev played in Indianapolis together.
You know,
the other
dude,
night. That man just gets it.
I saw him yesterday walking in OTR, and he was on a mission.
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, Dev, what's going on?" He was like, "What's up, dude?" I don't know where he was going.
That's how Dev rolls when he's not on the clock. You know?
Yeah. He's like, I didn't have this scheduled. I got to go do this thing. I'm like, I respect that. I know exactly what you mean.
Dude, if you want to talk about someone who has like a I'm on stage switch, it's Dev Marvelous. Like when Dev gets into a solo and you see him fully blossom in front of you as a person, it's like that's why he can sleep peacefully in a loud, crowded room. It's like
Yeah, you know,
Dev puts it all in. You know?
I think we all owe these musicians a lot, man. Like their influence is just as important. And you know, a lot of my songs, I've had Devin help write a couple of songs with me. I think the first one on my EP, Not Perfect, he's singing on that one. We're both singing at the same time, and it's a really beautiful kind of thing. It started.
Would you mind
as like,
running some of it?
Yeah, do you have another guitar or?
Take mine.
Okay, yeah, I could try to play a little bit of it. Will this just be a break?
No.
A cut? No.
I won't edit this out. I don't have time for that. Okay. No, they love to see this kind of thing. Right, YouTube?
YouTube.
Right, Dad?
Hopefully, I'm over here like, you gotta internalize your own songs. Hopefully I can remember how to play my songs.
Bro, brother. You
Oh,
want some verb on your voice? Never mind, it's not available to you. Well, actually, I can give you the perception that's there, but they might hear it.
check. It's okay if you can't.
I think I can. Oh, we just got wet.
Yeah, okay.
Shout out to Universal Audio, the greatest audio interfaces the world's ever known. I love this setup.
All right, let me get some water here real quick.
Man, take a quick sip.
Try to not sound terrible.
You'll sound beautiful, Sam. And let me say, as a friend that's gotten to watch this batch of music and your project in general, kind of coming out, it's been so informative and so cool and such great music. But it's just been fun to watch,
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I think it's all been very well stylized as well. Keep being boldly as weird as you want to be.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, man. I do.
Fuck yeah.
Not everybody knows about it, So we came up with this thing that was kind of like, how could you imply that you're sorry when we're right here and I'll be there? I will give you all I got on me, but you'd walk away 'cause you don't care. But you say that it's the world, you're not a girl that finds romance fun. How could you imply that you're sorry when you never tried? And then we did this thing like this. Ooh, why don't we take a break? 'Cause it's not worth it. I never set a claim that I'd be perfect. And like he did the harmony line. I mean, I'm not doing it any justice, and I'm forgetting on my song. But like, man, I'm telling you, when Devin does that whole thing, with the harmonies, it's crazy. And like, I remember sitting there with the acoustic guitar when we were writing that song, and it's stuff like that people wouldn't know that because there's no information on it, and that's my fault, really.
No, I think there's a calling for all of us to have our batch of material where we pull from the community that we love and embrace those people. And if you have the means to, you pay those people, you do the points thing. It's like you make right however you got to make right. But those experiences is what we shouldn't shy away from. It's like sometimes I get caught too much in the business side of it. And I'm not getting in the romantic side of the music. I'm just sitting there with a friend and working on a song. And like there's plenty of guys that play in this band and have been in my life that have made huge arrangement contributions. Like on Taste. Like, aren't you the one that came up with the da-da-da-da-da-da-da?
I don't know.
I think that's your call. Like, Nick has brought countless things to the table, and it's like those are hard things to properly thank somebody for, besides getting a chance to talk about it and telling other people, like, that's why you should pay this guy the big bucks, That's why you should listen to him. That's why you should follow these folks, because they aren't just songwriters. They're collaborators. They're members of a community that you may find that someone loved your first EP, and that took you to the Band Z page, and now they're listening to all this new stuff that you have coming out, right?
Yeah. Shout out Band Z.
Shout out Band Z. So where did that come from in your life?
Okay, hold on, I'm gonna give you this guitar back.
That's totally fine.
Band Z. There's so much to be said about Band Z.
Well, if you do it at
I
this
don't
pace,
know
we're
where
not
to
gonna...
begin. They're all beautiful and amazing things. And I don't, that's the other thing too, is like, sometimes I forget that I have music. Like, I'm like, people are like, oh yeah, I listened to like the other day, this dude I met was like, yeah, man, I listened to your first 2 projects and they're really awesome. And I got all these questions about how you did this, that, and where you recorded. Are you trying to record more stuff? Blah, blah, blah. You want to, and I'm like, oh yeah, but it was a Band Z show, So I was there like in that element, and we've recorded so much music with that project too. Which
in a short amount of time, right? Like a year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, a year and a half. Of course, I can't not mention Monica Wyndham, aka Mawasi. I love you so much. I really do. And she's so amazing, and she's just such a blessing in not only my life but everybody's life. And she works so hard to make things happen and to bring people together for musical reasons. And a lot of credit goes to Monica for getting that whole project together. And I remember I was in Jacksonville, Florida, playing the Jacksonville Jazz Festival, and I got an Instagram message from Monica, and she's like, we've got this gig coming up at the Thompson House, and would you want to play bass for it? It's just a shot in the dark. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. Let's do that. And Isaiah was with me, and I was like, yeah, they're looking for a drummer too. Would you be interested in drumming? He's like, yeah, dude, sure, let's do it. So we got back, and that's where I met Advite Redcar. Shout out Advite, one of my good friends.
That man plays a pretty Mustang. He's also a good-looking dude. Okay.
He's a great guy who also has incredible original music.
Oh.
Well, yeah, he's got great hair, of course, but he's got incredible original music. And like we all are playing on each other's music, and like everybody has projects out right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I'm not saying that I meet a lot of people like this, but if there are people out there like, man, Cincinnati just doesn't have a music scene. It's like, dude, there's so much music. Like, we got so much music out here. Like, everybody's got a record almost.
Yeah.
And like, it's all such good stuff. Advite's stuff's amazing. Monica's music under Mawasi is amazing. And those are just, and of course Isaiah's played in like 400 different projects, but those are just people in Band Z, and that was that core group that started that whole thing. And we just started
this Thompson House show kind of. Did you have the name by then?
Yeah, I remember we were like hanging out. We used to rehearse at this place near Findlay Market, in this like old building. It was pretty cool, and it was super hot in there too. It was like just awfully hot, and we were just cooking, like cranking out songs, like on Sunday afternoons, just meeting up, and we're like, what if we would do this, or what if we would do this, what if we would do this, and it kind of anything would go. And I remember someone was like, what are we calling the band? Or is this the Mawasi band? Or like, and Monica was like, this is Band Z. And we were like, yeah.
Cool.
This is Band Z.
That's confident and quick. I like that.
Yeah. And sometimes people think we're bands. Which is
like
also
bands that make her dance.
I don't know. It's just like sometimes if it's on a board or a marquee or something, it looks like bands, but
spaces are hard to conceive in those.
Yeah, but it is Band Z, and we've got more music coming out. It's just we kind of need to wrap it up and put it out there, but it's been a beautiful project too, and we've been getting, especially now that summer's here, we're getting back out there and playing with the band again. So we'll be out and about.
Nice. Any like touring plans for that group?
We would all like to.
Yeah. It's just about like a time and kind of picking out where to go and.
Yeah, and like gauging interest. Like, is there a place? I always kind of foresee it as like, if you have a connection with another artist from a different city who could be like, oh well, you could, I could get you a gig here, and then you could play here, and then kind of route it out that way. Just because I've been to a lot of cities, but I don't know where all the places are to play feasibly.
Yeah, it's such a tough thing to be independent bands and have to manage, that Rolodex of people. It's like, because you should have intimate relationships with the people who book the clubs that do good things for you. It's like, there's clubs in my life that are some of the most valuable relationships in my mind, because it provides me a room full of weirdos that might, take to,
Yeah.
honest to God, like people that are willing to take a risk. Like, you can go play certain clubs, and it's going to be full of people that will never remember who you are. And they'll never remember anything about your set besides, did you play Mr. Brightside, which is fine.
Yeah.
But there's only a certain amount of Friday and Saturday nights in a lifetime. So you got to choose a little more wisely where you're going to put that energy and thought process and, your sweat equity.
You're sweaty.
You're sweckity. Yeah, dude, I'm getting sweckity up here, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Daddy Duba.
Yes.
Salute. Love
It's a
you,
coffee.
Sam. Cheers.
I know you're a little bit of a coffee connoisseur, which
No, dude, I'm unfortunately becoming a junkie very quickly. It's like pot a day feels good for the soul.
I have no room to talk.
I definitely wouldn't say I have any biases against coffees, except for like the coffee you get at like Marriott's. And one time I tried to drink like a pot of that, and everything was wrong.
It's just bad.
Yeah, I was in Orlando, and it made Orlando not fun.
I don't
which is a
think I've
world of
ever.
dreams.
I can't think of a time where I've had like really good hotel coffee, and I've been in a lot of hotels.
Yeah. What was even worse was like there was some room for user error because it was like the McCafe in the bedroom kind of coffee.
It's just like a Keurig, basically.
Yeah, well, it's like a cheaper Keurig, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I probably botched it to be real. You remember that weekend stint we spent in Bowling Green together, Sam?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about some stuff?
Yeah, do you remember their basement where it was just like it was a 1-bedroom box?
I do.
Yeah, dude.
I do remember that.
They smoked this house out, and I was like, you people have no regard for each other, and I love that for you.
Yeah. Man. Oh, man.
That projector guy, the guy who was working the light show with the projector dish,
Yeah.
that was the coolest thing I've ever experienced to date. I loved it. It was so hot.
The thing that was crazy about that is like I ended up knowing like that guy's brother or something. Like
No.
we came, like it was weird. Like I followed that projector guy on Instagram.
Do you still follow him?
I think so.
Cool. I'll have to get his Insta after this. You remember me getting kicked off the gram. I haven't recouped any of these people, man. Like, it's so sad.
I probably got a few of them.
Yeah.
That is sad, man. That's.
I'll troll your list. I'll go looking for names I know.
Feel free. I remember that. I remember Bowling Green because let's see here.
You don't remember
I
Bowling
know.
Green, do you?
I do. I do. Stop, man. I do remember it. My favorite part. I have this Snapchat. I have this Snapchat where we're like at the hotel, and we got like one of the doors just like wide open in a big black van, and we're just like chilling like in the van, and it's like a rainy. I don't know. It's probably like a Thursday morning or something. I don't know. I think school was still going on. It was like winter. It was like
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah, it was Halloween
Yeah.
weekend.
So, and I think this was like my first semester out of college.
Nice.
Maybe no, or it was my senior year of college, and you were just like, "We're going on the road."
I think
to
it would make
Bowling
more
Green."
sense. It was both of our senior years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like awesome. It was
Yeah.
just, it was just like, yeah, dude. Of course, I'm gonna go to Bowling Green and like play at was
Play a
it
house show.
Howard's?
Dude.
Howard's.
Great club. Steve Furman, happy belated birthday, brother. That dude runs a kick-ass club. Dude, they put a new projector wall in the back, like Radio Artifact. Like, they're really doing the thing up there.
Dude, when I don't know if we'll have to cut this out or not. Probably not. I guess I don't see what's wrong with it, but
Not enough
When
people
I-
watch for me to be concerned.
when I like interviewed for my day job, my manager or whatever, he was like telling me about where he was from, and he said Bowling Green. And I was like, oh yeah. Did you ever hang out at Howard's? I played at Howard's a couple times, and he was like, oh yeah. And at that moment, for some reason, I thought that I just like I was done.
Dude,
I
you
was
said
like
the
I
wrong
was
thing.
like I wasn't gonna get the job for some reason. But then I think that ended up being
Everything changed.
like a good thing. But I just remember that was funny. But that whole weekend was really cool.
I miss that van, dude. I miss being able to rent that van from my friends. That they moved like the Athens area, but like that was so nice of them to let us. I think they just wanted to be in a more like open area, and I think they went to OU or maybe grew up around the area.
That makes sense.
So I get it. But they had this Sprinter van that they weren't using that often. So they were letting us rent it like, like once a month, up until me, Sean, who else was on that run? I think Hack was on that run. But we had like taken some extras in the van. Like we just brought some friends down, and someone pulls the door off the track of the vehicle. So like now the door won't like close. We had to like jam it shut to get home, and then I'd spend like $500-600 getting it fixed. But like we got it fixed, but they're like, yeah, we can't rent you this van anymore. I'm like, I totally get that.
And new doors are expensive. I'll be the first to tell you.
Really? You had to get you had to get new doors?
Not on a van, but I have had to get a new door. I used to. This is true. I used to.
The only thing that hasn't been true is the mulch cheating. Don't eat mulch.
One time, when I still lived with my parents back in college or something, I was like backing out of the garage, and like the driver's side door, I don't even know how I did it. I was like looking this way, and the driver's side door was still partially open. And I backed out, and like it clipped the electrical box. I don't know if you remember this era, because you were definitely like, we were hanging during this time for sure. But like it peeled my door back a little bit, and it like wouldn't latch. So, well, it would latch, but then it wouldn't unlock.
Christ.
And I didn't want to, like, I don't know. I was just too, like, anxious or nervous to, like, do anything about it for a while. So I just made my life harder I was younger. I don't know. I just made my life harder on myself for no reason. And so I was just, like, driving around for a few months with this, like, broken door.
Dude.
And I would have to, like, roll down the window and like, get it. Well, I'd have to get in. Usually I'd have to get in through the passenger side, which is, like, cool. But here's where it gets interesting.
It is cool.
Here's where it gets interesting. Okay, I'm a man of class, obviously. So picture me like 20, 21, and hard to believe, right? And I'm like pulling up to Prime downtown.
Nice.
To play a gig.
Nice.
And you have to valet your car. And my door won't like open. And like there's like all this stuff you got to do. Like there's a whole manual of things you have to do in order to get this car to operate. And I had like, dude, oh man,
you
that
had to
poor
put a stranger in it.
Yeah, that poor valet guy. I pulled up and he's like, dude, what is this Kentucky kid like doing? Like, I had my upright bass in the Honda Civic like across the seat, and I'm like getting out through the window in a full suit. Like I looked good. How I get there is not important. It's what happens when I'm there, all right?
Dude, if we could have gotten a picture of that, that'd be the greatest artwork of any EP of all time. A dude climbing out of Civic in a suit, then pulling out an upright bass. Like, I don't know how you get all that in the shot, but like...
You just gave me my idea for the next... That's it.
Okay, cool. I love it. Yeah.
Climbing out the Civ. That car's been great, dude. I've had that car for 10 years.
Honda seem to do it.
Yeah, they do. I'll buy another one. I will.
I wish
Call
I had
me
a Toyota
un-American.
again, dude. I've had too many issues with my Suburban. Like, I had to get a new transmission put in. I had some AC issues. I just got my headlight replaced. It's pretty normal wear and tear, and I'm just bitching to bitch. But, like,
Yeah.
I thought having a big car again will be luxurious. Is not.
It's expensive, man. There's a lot of upkeep.
I got 2 DVD players I've never used. Like, I got to get my shit.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, I'm about to take one of them off because I'm always packing shit up there.
Yeah.
It's always just taking a good hit. I'm like, man, this is a dumb choice. But the backseat doesn't need to watch the DVD player. I want to play Rocket League on that thing.
Oh, man.
I got a tech guy in the band. He should be able to work on this, but we haven't put the pressure on him enough yet.
I think nothing has taught me more about how to compose myself when things go wrong more than my car.
Nice.
Like so many times, just because it's like 10 years of wear and tear, and I already bought the car used then, so we're talking about like I almost got 220k miles on this car, And like there have been times where, like, not even that long ago, like back in the wintertime, Monica and I were leaving a gig and I was taking her home, and I'm like pulling out of the garage downtown, and I roll down my window to pay, you know, for the parking or whatever to get out of the garage. And like it's the middle of winter and it's like rain, snowing, sleeting, whatever, and like the window's stuck all the way down and it won't roll back up. So we're just like cruising down the highway and I'm like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I'm so sorry. This is just my life. I'm so thankful that you put up with me and like all of my car problems and all of these things. And I know it's weird and I'm a musician and I do this thing too. And you are too. And I guess we get it and we have that in common and blah, blah, blah. But just so many times I've been like, I can't get embarrassed by my car. I can't get embarrassed by things that bless me every day and get me to the places I need to be. I need to be thankful.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's so many times in this career path where it's just like dumb issues arise and we're just doing that right now. You know, like sometimes I got no hotel, sometimes I got 2 hotel. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
There's unexpected bumps in the road.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes it cool, man. It's like we're just living life. We're not trying to be these like, you know, I don't know.
Success would be nice.
Yeah. Success would be nice, but I mean, I know successful people who, they just live a normal life and they're not trying to like rub it in anybody's face. Which I'm not saying like you can't have nice things and do nice stuff and like, yeah, that's cool. But I'm not out here when you pull up to the gig. I'm not concerned with what you drive. I just like, do you like music?
For sure.
Do you like hanging out and playing music?
Yeah, I think when we look at like the aspirations of the people that are doing this full time in a smaller city like this, that's aspiring to be a music town or an entertainment town or just a town with enough life to support more of us doing this thing. It's like there's a GDP, there's a definite amount of gigs and cash flow and stages and opportunities available to us. So how do you put enough people in those events, enough, you know, loving patrons that more places want to do a similar thing? How do you allow for that to be a vibrant part of what we do in any given day? And that's special when you can afford yourself those freedoms and your neighbors those freedoms and in your community.
Yeah. And sometimes what I'm learning now in this stage is that, and I'm sure you've been there multiple times too, where sometimes like you're taking a hit. You put on an event, you're taking a hit.
Yeah, I'd say 4 to 6 times a year safely. I didn't take a good hit to the jaw.
Sometimes it's miscommunication. Sure. Sometimes it's I booked too many people, but it was worth it.
Heard.
You know, like I would rather. Some people are gonna criticize me for this, but you know what? If I lose $100 or whatever, and everybody else got paid and had a great time, that's cool. That's why I work a day job, dude.
Yeah.
Like
but it should only happen sometimes. You're always allowed to take those risks, but like, you know, sometimes it's hard to play with, you know, expectations of what you can give people versus what you can sustainably give people. It's like I've had issues with that in the last year where it's like you got to scale back sometimes and you got to take care of you first so that you can adequately provide, not insufficiently provide, because that well runs dry, and when that well runs dry, the foundation cracks. You can't put water in that well no more. It's like that's why people got to get out the game, is because an uncalculated risk ends up being the one that broke the camel's back. Yeah, exactly.
I get that.
It's a really tough game in that regard, and like those are hard, honest conversations to have. But if you don't lose $100 a year or $5,000 a year doing what you want to do in a way that makes you feel fulfilled and a little bit dangerous and you know, excited about what's going on in music, like do it. Absolutely.
Yep. Right livelihood, man.
Yeah.
Right livelihood. Shout out to Andy Smith. We had a conversation the other day. He's like, dude, you gotta like what you do. I'm like, well put, man. However, sometimes what brings me down is I'll put on a show and it's great and everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. Everybody's having a great time. People are dancing. There's a live band playing music. Songs that people don't always hear, songs that people do always hear. We're making it fun. And I end up taking a hit at the end of the night. And I'm like looking at the venue like, I just provided you this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm making all my money by bringing people in, and I know like how, I don't say I know everything about how a bar is structured or a place, but you know, sometimes the net versus gross can be like different, and but still, it's like if I'm bringing you all this business, like I at least want to feel appreciated as the artist who, or like the producer really, who like made that happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just don't feel that. It's like, oh well, thanks for saving me tonight and keeping me from having a slow night. And then like there's no compensation for that. All the money I made was from, you know, bringing people in.
Yeah, it's like, you know, and doors enough of a deal sometimes. Sometimes bar sales enough of a deal. Sometimes flat rate's enough of a deal. It's a really hard proposition to put a band on. It's like to host a room, to have a brick and mortar, to deal with the staffing and the occupational status. Yeah, it's like those kind of things are unappreciated by musicians, and then the show itself is unappreciated by the bars. It's like working on that relationship is by finding rooms in the city that have treated all of us right. And you know, when you have those rooms, like you know, I gotta give a lot of love to Fishbowl, because Fishbowl is a place that I know a lot of people ain't in there doing the original thing, but they give me a slot every Sunday night to go in there and do mainly my own thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and I don't hear any concerns of that being too much for anybody. It's like I gauge the crowd the way I feel fit, and we have a deal that I feel is fair. Sometimes they make no money while I play. Sometimes they make hella money while I play. And over a year, we feel even in that, and when we don't, we renegotiate. But like, if the bars don't come to the musicians honestly, and if the musicians don't go to the bars honestly, those deals feel shady. You know, sometimes you need contracts. Sometimes you just need a good text exchange.
Text.
Yeah.
Don't do it on the phone.
Yeah, definitely don't do it on the phone. No, like, handshake deals are okay if you really trust a person, but I've been hurt by people that I trusted, and that's fine too. I might trust those people again. That's life, man. But
yeah, that's true too. Don't burn a bridge if you don't have to.
yeah, absolutely not. It's like, do better for yourself every time, and know your worth. Ask for your worth. Be straight and transparent about those things. If you can, get them to sign some paper, because it's a dangerous game when you have people's financial well-being and your own on the line. It's like I said, 4 to 6 times a year, I stick my neck out, and there's a chance I could bleed out based on one show.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that is silly if you're talking about running a business, but that is the name of the game when you're talking about putting on shows, baby.
Yeah.
With that, I'd like to promote again the Recipe Family Cookout on July 29th. I'm not losing much money right now, so please come out. But if we can make that look, yeah, if you're free, come on out, brother. It's gonna be a hot lineup. I'll figure out where to squeeze you if you want to do some songs and like a songwriter round or something.
Yeah, hold on, let me check. I don't know what I'm doing.
So it's a all-day family music festival. Music starts at 3 o'clock. It runs till 10 p.m. It's a family-oriented event, so the music is going to be curated by the songwriters. It's all original, but there's also going to be 2 programs put on by Band in a Bus, if you know Nick Rose.
I do. Shout out Nick Rose.
Yeah, children's program.
Hey.
He's got the water bottle.
I got the Band in the Bus water bottle. And I'm sorry, Nick.
There's going to be 2 sessions, I think 4:30 and 6:30 for 20 participants between 7 and 15. And this is an event that's going to get kids involved in the music, and hopefully the local music is going to be inspiring to the songwriters of the next generation. But it's also BYOB players, so bring your cooler and your chair, and don't get up for 7 to 10 hours. Okay, let's do this.
Well, I got to talk to John Lattier.
Oh, are you working that night?
Yeah, well, I mean, if it starts at 3...
You can at least stop by for a little bit.
I could probably stop by for an hour, maybe.
God bless Johnny Disco, because I took a lot of guys for that day of gigging, and he's one of them. I took him and all of his PA. I'm like, I need you, John. It's like, all right.
I appreciate you, John, and what you do, and it's not an easy job, and especially when having 2 kids and being a heavy musician.
Dude, I never saw him being as good at that job as he is. And I really am proud and blown away by how he manages it. And it is a beast of a business. And I'm glad we have opportunities like that in our scene, because it's helped me grow in the way that I do weddings and corporate events in a huge way. There's so much time on the field, whereas like sometimes you can't risk your reputation, and go out there with something that feels, uncomfortable or unstable. It's like you only want to take your surest project. But sometimes life gives you a pretty unstable ground to go in and rock, a 2,000 person event or 100 people for the best day of their life. Get in there.
Well, that's what's cool about that organization too, is just that trust that everybody did the homework,
Yeah.
And it depends, like, I feel like
Yeah, dude, you really
it depends.
You can pull this guy down if you like.
I played basketball the other day with a bunch of musicians in town, and I'm gonna call one out. Eric Wurzelbacher.
Dude, I think he's probably in great shape.
Oh my God,
he has
dude.
a very strong discipline demeanor. So I think he hooped on you, dude.
He hooped on me. Anytime, and listen, like,
give me him next. I got you, Eric.
I've played.
You don't want these hands.
I'm not saying I'm a great basketball player, but I've played a lot of basketball, so I'm good enough to like hang and contribute. And anytime I put a hand in this guy's face,
bucket
drained, like immediately.
Some people like that. Some people like that. You gotta quit putting a hand up. You gotta start talking in their ear.
Him and Tom Buckley.
No.
Tom Buckley can ball.
Man, also a strong discipline. So I believe that, but damn, dude. Let me know next time you're playing with all those guys. I'm gonna come play my rough and tumble defense.
Tuesday nights.
See if I can make some enemies.
Tuesday
nights. What time?
I think at some point we'll have enough people to run like two
chords. Two chords, all musicians, and every once in a while there's a jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's a bunch of dudes hooping to jazz. You know what I mean? Like that could be.
Yeah, that honestly, like playing basketball while there's music playing is probably like the coolest feeling there is.
Yeah. Sam, I got Taylor Hughes heading over here for our next episode, so I got to wrap this up. Is there anything that you'd like to promote on the way out, brother?
Yeah, June 10th.
Nice. This may not be out in time for June 10th.
Oh.
This will probably come out near July.
Near July. What am I doing in July? July 12th.
Bang.
Is my birthday.
Woo!
And for my birthday week or something, I'm going to try to put on a big show of some kind. Very loose idea. So I don't know. Anytime around the week of July 12th, I'm probably going to put on a big show and play some new songs. So
very nice. Where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Sam Reuscher. That's REUSCHER. You can follow me on Twitter on the same. I never tweet anymore.
I think we should get you tweeting again. I think you might have one of the best minds for Twitter.
I don't. You're right.
Tell me this. Like, what's at the bottom of an applesauce? Like, non-BPA recyclable plastic. Come on, dude. Like, there's answers out there.
There are. We know.
Dude, exactly. Elon has freed us for information, brother.
Yeah, dude. Thanks, Elon. I guess.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that.
I don't know,
He's
dude.
been thanked enough.
I don't know. I'm not gonna get into any of that.
Guy. I got way stronger cult leaders. I'm actually a big proponent of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for president. Me and Devin talked about this. How do you feel?
Dwayne "The Rock"? I mean, okay. I could give him a shot. Dude, I mean, it can't be worse than the last two.
Hear me out for this slogan, and we'll wrap up on this. Dwayne the Swamp. Signing off.
Dwayne the Swamp.
Good night, everybody.